right, everybody, welcome back to Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we're breaking down movies of the Marine Corps 1 minute at a time. Today we're on minute number 91. I'm Jack.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Alice.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So today we're going to break down, I said, minute number 91. Today is the Webster shit show. We get to really kind of dig into what kind of person Webster is. I think he's kind of I don't know, Billy, would you think that he's kind of the star of this minute?
For sure.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and peel this one apart.
All right. Well, first off, before we get digging too deep, I do want to thank Alice for coming back a second time, especially for a proper guest spot this time. We kind of threw her to the wolves last time. She joined us last second. So,
oh yeah, I mean it was still fun, but I was so happy that I finally had a reason to actually watch the movie for the first time, because I mean, and I don't say this about like most movies. This movie is so great. It was just excellent. So happy to have watched it.
So yeah, because that was what I wanted to ask you, what your first impression was. So clearly you just gave it to us, and that's great.
Oh yeah.
It always makes, because it's a movie I like so much, especially, I'm always happy to hear when a guest who hasn't really seen it before or doesn't remember it very well is like, yes, I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, and the fact that it's not like my type of movie either. I mean, this is no cute rom-com. This is this is not The Notebook. This is not some fun Adam Sandler comedy or whatever comedy like this. I mean, it's funny, but like, this has a lot more to it, obviously. So it's really cool to find a film that I still really like that's not necessarily my genre.
Yeah, I totally get that. And I mean, like I've said before, like growing up, I would have just said this is a war movie. But as we
Yeah.
watch this movie, we're like, it's a comedy. It's kind of a buddy cop comedy at times.
Mhm.
It is a war movie. It's a Stripes type movie, but there's a little heart to it too. There's some
Yeah.
drama to it. And I think they do a good job of balancing the different genres into one movie without it's not too serious of a war film by any means. It's not too broad of a comedy, even though there are some silly stuff like the minute before they were singing a doo-wop in the shower. So and it's not too heavily dramatic when it comes to like the relationship stuff or Clint Eastwood being a old man who doesn't know where he's having a midlife crisis type thing. It's all there, but it's not. None of it's the main focus. Overall, it's just I would still say it's an action movie with some like a Lethal Weapon type. It's an
Yeah.
action, but there's some funny elements to that action. But when it gets serious, it can be serious.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon's probably the best. Yeah.
Especially that first Lethal Weapon. It had
Yeah.
some,
Pretty dark stuff.
Yeah, but it still was funny and it was still good. So, and it had that buddy element. Last minute they kind of said, "Let me tell you something about Gunny Highway." And of course, now we find out from Stitch Jones what he already knew previously. Gunny Highway won the CMH at Heartbreak Ridge. And of course, those guys are, man, I knew he was bad, but I didn't know he was that bad. And he seemed legitimately impressed with that. Which, I mean, honestly, if you served with a Medal of Honor winner, that'd be something kind of special, and I would want to
Yeah.
know more about it, especially if
Yeah.
you didn't know. Like if you found out like this, the guy you're under was your boss all of a sudden, and you're already gaining some respect for him, and then he's like, oh, by the way, he's also a Medal of Honor winner.
Yeah, which is incredibly rare.
Right, and he's a legit badass, and really, what he did to earn it was something special. It's like, yeah, I'd want to know more about it, and I'd be seriously impressed. So,
Yeah.
and these guys are.
But like I was reading this in the goofs section of IMDb, but like how did they not know like that he had that honor? Because don't they? I mean, they display all the badges, all the stripes. I'm pretending I know what I'm talking about. Everything on the front. Like, wouldn't they know he's a winner?
The only thing I could come up with, because when he introduced himself and he came in, he's like breaking pool cues and grabbing guys by the nose, and
Nobody's looking at his fruit salad.
exactly, nobody's paying attention because they were dismissing him at first, and then once he started kicking shit around, well, nobody's looking at. They're looking to make sure they don't get hit with anything.
He obviously didn't get a good cookie.
Yeah. That's my only explanation is, but he did. He showed up with his ribbons on right in front of most of these knuckleheads right here, and they never acknowledged it. But And it could be a goof, but we can make it work within the movie logic of they just weren't paying
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
I do have what I thought you were going to say, Alice, is I do see there's another goof regarding the Medal of Honor, and it's the fact that in this movie they keep calling it the CMH or the Congressional
Yeah.
Medal of Honor. There is no Congressional Medal of Honor. There is the Medal of Honor,
Mhm.
and that's a common mistake. I was digging into it a little bit because I wanted to know more about it. Apparently, the reason people get confused, there's like two reasons why the Medal of Honor is mistaken for the Congressional Medal of Honor because the people who earn, are awarded the Medal of Honor become a member of the Congressional Medal of Honor Society. So
Oh.
Oh.
and Congress does not grant the Medal of Honor to anybody. It is the President of the United States who bestows that honor onto whoever, gets nominated and deserves it. But in the statute, it said something about the president presents this honor on behalf of Congress.
Mm.
So even though Congress has nothing to do with the Medal
Huh.
of Honor itself, the only thing that Congress really had to do with that was the establishment of the Medal of Honor during the Civil War. There was a
Hmm.
couple, it was like, I had the dates in front of me, but basically, if you go to the Congressional Medal of Honor Society.org, they have all the dates and important information about it. But about the gist of it is during the Civil War, some senator put up a bill that got signed into law, I think by Lincoln. Yeah, that created a naval Medal of Honor. And then, like within a few months or a year later, somebody else said, "Well, now we want an army one." So then that was created, and then basically right after that, they said, "No, no." Oh, and it was only meant for enlisted personnel, not officers.
Hmm.
And then after that, they said, "No, no, no." So whatever bill or whatever that finally created the way we know it as of today, basically said, "No, it's for every branch of the service." Of course, the president is the one who grants it or whatever. Anybody can get it. It's not limited to just enlisted or staff NCO and below.
Hmm.
It's anybody can get it that's in the service. So it's pretty interesting. If anybody's interested in a little bit more details behind it, Congressional Medal of Honor Society.org has a lot of information. I believe it has all the members who have received it in the past, and I think I found this one little fascinating thing. It said to date, almost half of more than 3,400 medals have been presented to U.S. service members who fought in the Civil War. So a lot of them got it at the time it was created.
Hmm. And they got a little bit more selective with it, I guess, over time.
Yeah. So of course that was from a battlefield.org
Yeah.
website. It was about Civil War battlefields, so of course they're going to highlight that.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was created its inception was 1861. So
And is it for kind of above and beyond brave acts versus like a Purple Heart, which is like injury? Like I was just trying to think of the difference.
yeah, that's correct. I mean, it's if you read. Okay, so
Well, if I'm not mistaken, too, the Purple Heart originally wasn't for injury. It was it's something that it's become used for, but I think the original use of it or the original creation for the Purple Heart was like a valor, like a valorous, but
Right.
not like spectacular valor. But um, yeah, that was another one that's kind of changed over time. But I'm just gonna shut my mouth now because I'm not positive. I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna look it up.
I know. There's so many things. This is the second time I've heard the phrase fruit salad. Like people just say it like I know, and now I'm reading it and I'm like, that is so clever.
it makes sense, doesn't it? Alice, to your point, the Medal of Honor for basically is for above and beyond. The youngest living recipient of the award was Kyle Carpenter, a United States Marine. I think he was like 19 when he got it,
Yeah.
and I think he was in Iraq, Afghanistan. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me exactly, but long story short, a grenade got thrown into his fighting hole, and he put his body on the grenade to save his
Mhm.
his guys. But anyways, he basically without thinking threw his body on this grenade to shelter his fellow Marines and save their life. And that's the type of thing that will get you a Medal of Honor. Although
Mhm.
typically in a case like that, you're going to get it posthumously.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, most most Medal of Honors are given posthumously because I mean, you go above and beyond the Call of Duty and bravery and self-sacrifice and all that good stuff, and it's pretty impressive. You know, if you ever read about what these guys do, it's not the norm. You know, it's really impressive. All right, Perry, did you find out about the Purple Heart yet?
I did, but it's pretty lengthy. Short version is it was originally called the Badge of Merit, military merit, established by George Washington. That's why his face is on it now.
Hmm.
MacArthur, yeah, General MacArthur. There's yeah, you know what? Anybody that really cares was that because it's really a pretty lengthy read about the history of the Purple Heart. It does seem to indicate that it was originally a badge of merit, but then it goes into a little bit more detail. It was kind of mothballed for a while, and then they brought it back, and then they brought it back, and then changed it, and that's where it now has the designation of being awarded for wounded or killed in action against enemy of the United States, or as a result of an act of such enemy or opposing armed forces. So yeah, but it's a pretty lengthy read. But yeah, so that yeah, it was. So I wasn't completely full of shit. It was originally it did originally have a different purpose, and it was awarded by George Washington.
Nice.
But I suspect that one didn't have his face on it though.
Or maybe it did, and he was that vain. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a little mirror.
Well, so basically, what I took from this is you read just enough to prove that you were right.
That's all that ever really matters in this world, just enough to prove that I was in fact right. Yeah, it's pretty lengthy, man, and there's a lot of stuff in here that goes in
Yeah.
how you get it and the history of it. But even the history of it's pretty because it's gone back and forth. It's popped in and out of our history for a while, and then somewhere around 1931, it became permanent. So
If I remember at the time of this airing, I'll throw it in the quarter deck, and people can take a look.
yeah, yeah,
I won't remember, but if I do,
you do. That's fine.
um, before Webster walks in, though, when these guys are talking about the CMH, I think it's funny. They like Quinones and Collins like rub each other's face.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like,
Or
"Whoa, what's
Ponte,
this?"
it's a Ponte.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not.
which is weird. Which is a weird little bit of business. But in walks Moses Gunn, Staff Sergeant Webster, on cue to ruin the good time.
Does Stitch carry that goddamn guitar with him everywhere? Really?
Yeah, you missed. We were joking that he just came out of the shower with the damn thing.
Like,
What the hell is he
my
doing in there?
yeah. Sitting on the can,
Yeah.
playing playing a tune, playing the blues.
uh,
So Staff Sergeant Webster. So last few scenes, maybe last week, I think it was. We had the pit fight, and first Recon wins, but Major Powers says they cheated, so they didn't win. So then they have a matchup between Gunny and Major Powers. Of course, Gunny wins. Now Major Powers is coming at him. Another. He doesn't like losing apparently. So now he's sending his lackey in here to get statements. And Stitch says, "What kind of statements?"
Yeah.
He wants statements that Gunny Highway used live ammunition and an unauthorized weapon on the training exercise. And says who?
Yeah, exactly. Like which one of them kind of yeah, it's when I saw the minute I was like, wait a minute, which one of these guys ratted him out? And he's like, well, I heard the shots. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I heard the AK-47 fire coming from your AO, which is
area of
area of
operation.
operation.
Yeah.
Look at that. We had I would say a twin moment, but we're not twins.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
We've been doing this we've known each other too long.
Too long. And I'm the better looking one.
No comment. Oh, I do like the fact that he's like, I thought you guys didn't like Highway.
Yeah. He's like,
Right.
"What is
Yeah.
He it?" seen the movie. They like him now.
Right. So blatant. Yeah.
So, Alice, when you were on last time,
Mhm.
I think you were on just after the scene where he shot the AK-47 at him, or were you there when he shot at them?
Possibly. I remember the guys jogging, and I remember when they met the really nice glasses lieutenant. I don't
Right,
even know what his name is. Yeah.
Lieutenant Ring. Yep.
Yeah.
So that was the first time that happened, but there was another time where they were basically on a, I guess like going under concertina wire and stuff like that, and Gunny was shooting over their head, and you see Webster come around like peek behind a bush and spy on them. So he was he knows nobody ratted him out. Webster was the one that ratted him out.
Yeah.
After Major Powers got his ass kicked on that walk home or the ride home or in the office, he was probably venting and ranting, and Webster's like, "Well, I got a way to get him out. I heard this. If we can get somebody to,
Corroborate.
corroborate that." Yeah. He goes, "But don't you guys wanna go back to the way it was? Nobody fucking with you?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of this movie, this is another nobody fucking with you is just it's a saying, right? I mean, like, it's not really saying, it's just you just say it. But because of this movie, I will sometimes go, "Don't you want nobody fucking with you?" Like, I put that I can't help it,
It rolls right off the tongue.
right? And Stitch Jones, I love it too. He's like, "Seems to me ain't nobody fucking with us the way things are now." It's a different kind of, fucking with. So now then he goes straight to bribing them. Well, there's
Yeah.
weekend liberties in it for you.
Yeah, isn't this when they just get back from the pit? So, like, when they
Yeah.
get their cleanup, so they already got a 72.
Yeah, that's the thing. They got a 72. Well, maybe they're gonna get another one.
Oh, well.
But I do like that he goes not only does he go straight to bribery, but he goes straight for the weakest link. He goes right to profile.
Yeah.
Hey, start with you, but profile, he's not the pushover they think he is. I got nothing to say,
Yeah.
No habla.
Yeah, no habla. Yeah.
I like that they called that back.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good.
No, but he does say basically, it gets cut off, but I'll just finish the line. He says, "Well, this can go hard on y'all if you don't cooperate." So not only so the first bribery now threats,
Yeah.
and he's a piece of shit, Webster,
Mhm.
basically. Moses Gunn's a cool dude from what I can tell.
That's what,
Yeah,
that's
Webster's
what
an
Chris said.
asshole. Yeah. He's a Semper I guy.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew some of those.
Yeah. He's a green weenie type guy. He's coming at you with the green weenie.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a turd. He's using admin stuff to but I did notice so even if he said he heard the AK-47, he didn't see it. So maybe that's why he needs Recon to corroborate.
Yeah.
As Gunny stated recently, the AK-47 makes a distinct sound when fired on.
Oh, I imagine Webster's having a few shot at him.
Right, so Webster, he's proving that he knew it was an AK-47 just by listening to it.
He's such a wormy character.
I just feel like this minute was just like the turning, basic to me, kind of the turning point of this movie. I mean, yes, we hear when Jones kind of finds out that he won this award, and what is Heartbreak Ridge and all that kind of stuff. But like this band of loyalty, because I not to go on tangents about other minutes or other things. When we first met these guys, I was horrified. I mean, I turned to my friend that I was watching like the first part of this movie with, and I was like, I don't understand. I just saw absolute like I forgot what the word is, but basically being polite and knowing this is my superior, this is the way that I'm going to act, this is the way I'm going to address them. And then as soon as that scene where Gunny walked into that place and just all these frat guys, maybe, possibly literally, with how old they were, all these frat guys are just treating him so disrespectfully. I couldn't understand it. I'm like, what are they doing here? I'm so mad at them. I hate them all. And then you get to this minute, and they're being loyal, and I'm like, this is a really weird but fast turnaround, but also, Gunny gained their respect, and it was so interesting to kind of just to see that character development.
Yeah.
I mean, they are so much on board with Gunny Highway now, even before. I mean, Stitch knew he was a see, I'm going to call it CMH, but a Medal of Honor winner. But when they find out, of course, they're already on board because just a minute or two ago, they sang a song about how awesome Gunny Highway is.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I wish I had people that loyal to me that they would sing a song about me.
Well, there's people that are loyal to you, but they sing you a different kind of song.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Like, sure, respect him, but their lives would be a lot easier if they can just skate through. Which is, I mean, that was what my friend had said. Well, they're just skating through. They just want, the money, and let's not really try hard. I mean, it would have been a lot easier without Gunny.
Right up until they go to combat.
Well,
Yeah,
true.
exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah, as long as they don't go to combat, they can skate a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, like Perry and I were not infantry grunts by any means. So like if we skated,
Yeah.
it's not as dangerous
Yeah.
as being
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna take an extra few minutes to get from one building to the next. Like
Yeah.
that's harmless skating. These guys are completely inept, but also they it's not just their fault too. Their leadership was not doing anything to help them either. Not until Gunny got there. So, yeah, I mean, I think it is good. At this point, they are a unit. They're Marines at this point going forward. Before they were the Bad News Bears. Now they're a team. Other than that, I don't have too much else for this minute because we still get a few. We still get a little little bit of this the next minute as far as these guys in dealing with Webster. So Perry, Alice, you got anything else you want to cover this minute or before we move on?
I'm sure I'll remember it in the next one.
Okay. All right, great. Well then, Alice, you want to do some plugs? Let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so I am on hiatus right now on the podcast I'm on now. You've seen it, a movie podcast. If you like hearing about all the cool classic movies with people who have never seen them, basically what's happening right now with me seeing something for the first time. That's basically what we do on the podcast. And I'm on a ton of other minute by minute, movie minute podcasts. Just guesting and things like that. But my social media is my Facebook is Alice Lauren. My Twitter is Pod Socialite. If any of you are on TikTok, at Podcast Socialite. So yeah, just chat with me on there, and we'll figure out what to do.
Well, excellent. All right. Well, of course, we're the Marine Corps Movie Minute, and I just have everybody. I just asked our listeners to join us on the Quarter Deck, our Marine Corps Movie Minute Quarter Deck page on Facebook. And other than that, we asked that they come back on Wednesday for minute 92. I think our listeners, when they hear Perry and I speak, they're like, "Man, I knew they were bad, but I didn't know they were this bad."